Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Now today I'm going to show you how to do a single-sided crisscross. Loads and loads of people have been asking about the double-sided one and can you do it as a single, and the answer is of course you can. These blankets, like this picture, now these blankets are to decorate the top plastic cover that matches the body of the pram when you get a pram. That's what they're for. They're not to wrap your baby in. They're not to put over the top of all the other blankets. That's going to hold too much heat in. What these are for decoration. So just excuse my feet. I've got some nice little jazzy slippers on that I made. So hopefully every time I do a tutorial I'll have a different pair of slippers on. This is really simple, really easy. Now you need your 4 strands of wool, so 4 100-gram balls of wool. You can either tie your wool to this nail or to this nail. It's up to you. When you're doing blankets, it's up to you how you do it as long as it's safe. That's the main thing with these blankets. Now, if you found a way to change things, then that's fine. If you find a more comfortable way to do things, that's brilliant as well. So with your 4 strands of wool, it's double knitting wool. I've got 4 strands. I'm going to do 5 rounds to do the base. Now, I'll leave the link to John O'Hagan. He is the wool supplier that I use, and he's super cheap. And it delivers to your door. What you're going to do is you're going to go up and down your nails like this. Just go up to the top, come back down to the bottom. I think I'll need to get a bucket to put my ball of wool in with a hole in the lid. That might stop it from rolling over the floor. I think I tried it with a box, but it got tangled inside it, so I just let it run around. So up and down. When you get to this top corner, you're going to come around and you're going to go this way. Just like this. And I would recommend that if you've had a loom made or bought one, I would recommend a stand of some sort. It saves your back and it holds its position there, and it's a lot easier to work with. So now we're going to fill in these gaps up here. You can see the gaps. So we're going to fill in these areas here just by going around your loom. Now if you're making a loom yourself, make sure you stick to the odd and even rule of nails. So along the bottom you'll have even, the bottom and the top will have even nails, and running down the sides you'll have an odd number of nails, or you won't be able to do this full round. And this is becoming so popular. So we're going to go fill the gaps that are down the side. It's becoming a very popular pastime. So what I'll do is, I'm going to get this done, and I'll come back and I'll show you when I've got 5 rounds on. So we're going to do 5 full rounds for this base. 5 rounds of our base on. So we've got 5 rounds all the way around. So for my zigzag on the top, I'm going to use this pink. Now I'm going to say again 4 100-gram balls of wool. You can use smaller balls of wool if you want, but if you do, you won't use it all. You'll still have some left, and this is what I've had left from another project. I roll all the balls of wool together like this. So what you're going to do is you're going to tie it on down in this corner again. So I've got my pink wool tied on down here. So what you're going to do is, turn that way a little bit. You're going to miss this first nail and wind up this second one. because you want to go over across. So you want to go over a joint here. So you go up to your next nail and you'll come back down over these ones and up and around, just like this, just the same as we did on the double-sided tutorial. Just go straight up so that we take in those diagonals, just like this. Now it looks a little strange, but it's just because it's on the diagonal. Now when we get to the top, up here, you're going to go around these nails here to this one, just in a square. So you're going to go around in a square here and follow your rule back, and that'll fill in all the areas where there's no pink. So just follow your rule back. And right about on your YouTube channel, right about there, there's a little round icon and it goes into your settings. If you click on that, you can slow the tutorial down and you can actually have your loom in the front of you and you can work along at the same time. So if you click on those settings, you can choose to slow the video down, but you will slow my talking down as well. So it might be better to actually turn me off. So we're going to go around this way, following back to the beginning. So that's one round. So I've got my 2 rounds of my pink on going this way. So now what we need to do is we need to go that way. And the easiest way to do that is just run your rule along here. Now we're going to go up to the second nail again. Go up to your second nail and come down to your second nail here. So take in that cross section there. Now go to your next nail and up and work your way along as you did already. And we're going to do another 2 rounds. Now someone asked me what happened. I've deliberately put a knot in my wool. Somebody asked me what happens when you get to your knot. Now as long, or if you've got a knot in, or if you've just joined some wool to use up all your odds and ends, as long as your knot is down here where these nails are, you will be fine. As long as it's here, then you can cut it out once it's all tied in. Now what I'm going to show you as well, this is where you count the rounds that you've done. It's in between your nails. So if you pull that up, I should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of my white on each, in between each of these like little ladders. And here I've got 1, 2, and on this one I've got 3 because we've not finished the row. This is where you count it here. So I should end up with 5 sets of white and 4 sets of pink. Don't count don't count from the middle. Count between your nails. And if you're asking, when I do a blanket that's all one colour, I've got these nails in here, little nails, and they're pushed down. And when I'm going to do a blanket that's all one colour, I wrap a really dark contrasting colour around these nails and up and around the frame. It splits it in half, so when you cut it, you can see where you're going. Just in case you're asking about that. So off we go again. Keep the knot to the bottom. So if you can, still work with your wool if you've got a knot. Up to this top and around the nail like this. Turn around each nail. like this. You don't need to do that. We'll just go right around the corner at this end and then follow your wheel back. So just go right around that corner, miss that nail and that nail, and follow your wheel back. And that's you done one round. So I'll do the second round and I'll come back and I'll show you what to do next. You can either tie it in the pink on the top, which you will tie in a diagonal. Tie it twice because it's running along this edge. Once you've cut these, you don't want these little pieces to fall out. So you'll cut your wool and then you'll reattach it, tie it securely here, and then go across and tie it here securely. Tie them twice because they're on that end. Cut your wool, go up to your next diagonal, tie it securely twice here, tie it here, tie it securely twice here because it's still on that end. All the way in. When you get away into the middle, tie your end securely twice, then tie and tie and tie. It's up to you if you tie it once or twice in the middle, but make sure you tie all those white ones underneath that edge. Please tie it twice. You do not want those strands to pull out. If you only tie it once, you are running a huge risk of these strands coming out, and you don't want that. Now, if you're going to tie it from underneath, you're going to tie it underneath with your shuttle. What you do with that is, you just go along your squares, and that will tie them in. But this edge, make sure you tie each cross section twice. You can tie it in a cross section, and loads of people just tie it here, but tie it twice here. Please tie it twice. You don't want your strands coming out. That's why when I did my other blanket, one, I liked the cross that it brought out the way I tied it, and I wanted to make sure it was very secure. So at least tie all your edge twice. Now when you tie the back, you will just go along like this. You'll tie it this way, and you'll have on this end, pull that through, you'll have little crosses on all your sections, and this one will be opened in three. So I'm going to tie it, and I'm going to show you, but I'm going to tie it from the back. So down the top left, but underneath that diagonal, under that part there, you can see it there, like that. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more, as far as I can. So this is where we are, we're in this section here. And when we come up, we're coming up this section. So you can see it there. So here I'm under this part of the cross, and here I'm above it on the pink. So what we'll do is we're going to tie it securely. This end will become part of the fringing. Tie it as tight as you can. Tie it again. That will become part of the fringe. So I'm just going to tuck that down there, out of the way. Now I'm going to tie it again because I want to tie it twice. So it's the top left, but this part, this section of the cross, this is the way I do it. And then come up the bottom right on the top part of your diagonal. That's going to tie that diagonal in. Now, you can leave it like this, or you can turn your hook, put your shuttle through, and pull it tight as you can. Now, these are called fishing net repair shuttles. and you get them on eBay and Amazon. Now we're going to go down the top right on this top section of that cross. You can see that cross there. We're going to go in through there, and we're going to come up at the bottom left, but the bottom part of that diagonal. Now this is the way I tie it. People tie different ways. You find your own way of tying as long as it's secure. So I'm going to do that again through the top right, but the top part of that diagonal, and I'm going to bring it in under that part of the diagonal. Giving my wool a twist through the hoop and pull it tight. Now that's going to really securely tie that edge all the way along here. So I'm going to tie that all the way along. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move along to this one. And again, I'm going to go in the top left, but I'm going to go in the bottom part of that diagonal there. And when I come up, I'm coming up the bottom right and the top part of that diagonal in that section. I've got a little twist on my hoop. You don't need to twist your hoop, but I do. Give it a really good pull, and then in through the top right and the bottom left, the bottom part of that diagonal. Make sure you don't catch any of your nails when you bring your shuttle up through the hoop and tie it tight. Now I'm going to do it again because it's on the edge. So that's top left up through the bottom right, through my hoop and pull. Top right, bottom left, through my hoop and pull. You will hear it going like that. So the next one, we're going down, top left, up through the bottom right. Make sure you're going to that other side of that diagonal row. Little cross. Just give your little hoop a little twist. Just one little twist and pull it and jerk it tight. Now you will get sore fingers even though you're using your shuttle. I've got a pair of woolen gloves somewhere and I'm going to put those on to do the rest of this blanket. I've got woolen gloves and I've got just that tip end there of the gloves cut off. So I've still got the tips of my fingers free. So I'm going to go through this top right, up through the bottom left, little twist on my wool, shuttle through the hoop and pull. You shuttle wool on your nails like I've been doing and pull it tight. That's once and I'm going to do it again. Now I'm going to tie the rest of my blanket up and I'll come back and I'll show you what it looks like. I'm going to twist it around so hopefully you can see it, what it's starting to look like on this side. So that's what it's starting to look like. You've got your little crosses here. Now I know they look like they've got double crosses, but it's so much safer than only doing it once and those long. Once you cut here, you need to make sure those strands are not going to pull out, especially these little short ones. So I'm going to turn it back and get the rest of it tied and then I'll show you what it's like. Okay, so I've got the blanket all tied. I tied it from, I'm going to turn that around. I tied it on the reverse. I'm going to zoom in so you can see that. Just move that a little closer. So that's it. It's not tied here. It's not here. It's not tied. It's just tied all along here. and because I tied it with the white, you can't see where it's joined. I double tied all along the edge, all this edge here. I double tied all the way around the square. I tied it twice around that edge. So what I'll do is I'll turn it back and I'll zoom in, and you can see that. So they've all got the little crosses over, so it's tied in these sections, but not in this middle bit. This middle bit's still loose, as you can see. So all you have to do now is cut it off the loom. So I'll move that forward just a shade yet so you can see. So like I showed you before, some of my wool, I've joined it because I've been using just some scrap wool, and I've got my knots here. So the knots are fine. Now it's all tied up, I can actually just cut the knot out like that, pop it off to the side. There we go. So all you do now is cut between the nails. So if you just cut your wool through the pink and through the white, just between the nails, the way you normally do your other blankets. And that'll come loose like that. So we're going to cut between the nails all the way around the blanket. So all that becomes a fringe, all that area. So you do end up with a longer fringe than you normally do with a pom-pom blanket. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut all the way around, and I'll show you what it looks like once it's done. So this is our blanket all finished. As you can see, it's absolutely beautiful, and I always love this side. I love this flower pattern. So it is a reversible blanket. I mean, a lot of people say, oh, that it's not, class is not a proper reversible. It is, if you can use this side, and you can use that side, and it's still quite light, and after all, it is for the top cover of the pram. So you've got your pram, you get a cover that is made with the same material. You usually get that with your pram, like a rain cover, a dust cover, it goes over the top. This is what these are for. These are to decorate the top dust cover of that pram. Not the plastic rain cover, but the top covering. Just as I showed you in the picture, that's where they go. Most people who sell them will put a ribbon or a tie of some sort on the corners so that it can be tied like this on that top covering of the pram. They're not for wrapping up the baby. Now, around the edges I've tied it twice, so I'm not even going to hold these areas so no one can say I'm pulling on the wrong parts. So this is this line that's running up here. I'm going to hold it here, and now I'm going to pull that as tight as I can, but because I've tied this in twice, these are not moving anywhere, especially these small ones. If you pull at those, I'll keep my hand out of the way, so if you pull that really tight, they're not going to come out. Now if you only tie that in once, it will. Now in the middle, they're only tied in once. Now watch this. If you get a piece of it and you give it a little pull, look at that, it is moving in the middle. But that's what you don't want at the ends. This can just all get straightened back in again. Now that's what happens when you only tie your blanket in the ones around that edge. It will come loose. So please tie all your edges tie them in twice. Do it once and then tie it again, just to make it and keep it secure. So there we go. That is how you make a single-sided zigzag or crisscross blanket, and it turns out beautiful. And you can use both the sides for decoration. It's got your white frills on this side, or whatever colour you do your base, and it keeps its fringing on the top. So all it leaves me to say is thank you for watching. Now, my next tutorial is when you make pom-pom blankets, that bag, you get left with lots of little oddments of wool, odd balls. I roll them all together into strands of 4 like this. Now, if you watch my next tutorial, I'm going to show you what you can do, and you can make an absolutely beautiful, beautiful blanket with these odd balls, little balls of wool like this. So you can join me for that, please do. Also, down in the bottom down here in the description, I'm going to put the link for John O'Hagan. He is my wool supplier, and he supplies loads and loads of wool, and it's very cheap. If you're in the UK, it's from 99 pence a ball. A lot of the time he actually sells wool even cheaper than that. He does do delivery to your door via Kearney's Delivery, so you can get it delivered to the door. It's only £2.85, I believe, a little bit more if you get more balls of wool. But for your small delivery charge, you can get up to 18 balls of wool delivered for about £2.85, I think it is. If you've got more and the weight's more, then obviously the charge is just a little bit more. But his wool is absolutely fantastic. And this is what it does. It's absolutely brilliant wool as well. And a lot of it is branded wool. Also, I've got some good news. I opened a new Crafty Twins craft group. Now, we do have the normal Crafty Twins where you can come and post all your pictures, but we also have a new group called Crafty Twins 2. And what you can do with that is, if you make craft items, any items that you have made yourself, you can join Crafty Twins 2 and you can sell it. So this Crafty Twins 2 is a selling group, and it's a sister group to our Crafty Twins 1. So I still hope that you'll come and join our Crafty Twins and put some of your pictures in that you've made. Any craft, you can come and join, pop in any pictures of any craft that you've made, doesn't matter what it is, whether it's art, weaving, blanket making, book folding, painting, drawing, anything like that. We'll love to see your artwork. And then you can join Crafty Twins 2, and you can, if you do sell your items, you can come along and you can actually join and sell some of your handcrafted items on Crafty Twins 2. So thank you all for watching. Please subscribe. It only takes a few extra minutes to subscribe to the channel. Please leave a comment. If you leave a comment, then just take the extra second and click that subscribe button. All the subscribers, I don't get any monetary value from subscribers. The subscribers give my channel great moral support. The more subscribers I've got, then it encourages me to keep making tutorials. It just keeps me going, and it just gives me a little more confidence to keep making tutorials. So give this a little try. It's super easy. Come back for the next tutorial where I'm going to show you what to do to get rid of all those little oddballs of wool that you have. So until the next time, happy crafting, and I'll see you all again soon. Goodbye.